Yo, what's up, bro? Coming through. Sorry, y'all. Everything is. Where you at, Skip? I guess Skip is waiting. Be dramatic. Can you hear me? Where you at? No, I can't hear you. Hold on, let me check. Can y'all hear us? Hold on. I have to. Okay, y'all can hear me. I'm checking my mic. Music is loud because we litty. Luigi, I don't want no beef with nobody named Luigi. I'm just saying the music is loud because we litty. I can't hear Skip. Nobody can hear you, Skip. How about if I bring you on? Say something now.
Yo.
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Can y'all hear me? Because I can't hear none of y'all.
We hear you. We can hear you. I don't know what's going on with you. Complaining about music, old man. Who come on somewhere? We litty. Shoot, it's Wednesday night. And let me tell y'all something. Wednesday night used to be my night because that was the hip hop night at the Sound Factory bar back in '93. So that was like the first, like when I was clubbing in New York, that was the first club, like nightclub that I was like a regular at. So Wednesday night used to be litty as hell.
So, I just want to make sure that I'm hearing you say that you was in the club with a knife.
No, why would I need a knife? No. I said Wednesday night at the Sound Factory bar in Manhattan back in the 90s was hip hop night. Because the clubs would have different night, like a house music night, world music, reggae, rock or punk or retro. What's that? Rave. So some of the larger clubs had different music genres for different nights. And so for the Sound Factory bar, which was a huge club, Wednesday was the hip hop night. So a lot of people associate partying and clubbing with Friday, Saturday night. I more so associate it with Wednesdays.
So you was in the Sound Factory doing drugs?
No.
Luigi say the Sound Factory was where they had drugs.
It depends on what night.
I mean, it must have been.
Everybody was doing drugs back then. Everybody was on drugs.
So let me make sure I understand this. You was selling cocaine in the Sound Factory with a knife?
No. I wish I had that history. I wish I had some stories to tell. Because
what were you doing in the 70s, cuz?
I didn't say the 70s. I said the early 90s.
That's the only reason that you would be in the club with a knife. In the 90s, people had guns.
Not in the Sound Factory. They had metal detectors. So, but I used to see guns in there because, they used to let like the more elite clientele walk around the metal detectors. But yeah, Sound Factory, there's a lot of drugs in every club. I don't know any club that wasn't saturated with drugs. I mean, you go to a rave and they're taking ecstasy and Special K. You go to a hip hop club, it was 40s and blunts. People were drinking, smoking skunk, drinking 40 ounces in the club. The reggae club, what was in there. And the raves, you go to the raves, almost anything goes, to be honest. But yeah, drugs were everywhere back then. But I stayed drug free. Like I said, I had my DARE badge. Thank you, Nancy. Shout out to Nancy Reagan. She helped me the drug awareness and resistance program. I went through it from 5th and 6th grades at Knott's Elementary. And Officer Friendly came there and stood me up in front of my class and told them what a wonderful student and what a bright future I would have because I had committed to staying drug free. So shout out. So yeah, drugs were there, but what drug wasn't? I mean, like the Limelight, the Tunnel, all them drugs, some of them had like drug manufacturing in the basement. Like I didn't know that until after the feds kicked in the door. So it's not like I was in there hip to what was going on with the Roxy, the Tunnel, line, all them spots. They were all like drug manufacturing facilities. So, but I mean, I'm a snitch on Luigi. He's on lockdown, awaiting trial, and he got a phone. Tell the Fed.
I missed you, man. How you been?
I've been good. Happy New Year. Is this our first broadcast of 2025?
I think so.
We on the nickel. I know we a quarter through this century, man. So that's a lot.
Man, good to see you, Alpha, man. Yeah, man. I've been going through it, bro. But we out here now. We out here now.
Yeah, I was actually surprised to hear from you.
Yeah, man.
Because I was sure about to play hooky.
Oh, yeah, you gonna get skedaddle on them.
Yeah, man. Listen, I've been down, man. I've been down. Like, I've been dealing with more sickness and ailments in the last 2 months than I have in the last 10 years.
It's because you can't eat chicken noodle soup, bro.
We have our own version of all that.
Does it have chicken in it?
No.
Okay, it's not chicken noodle soup.
How you know your chicken noodle soup actually has chicken?
Because I seen the feathers.
And not chicken-like substance.
Because I seen the feathers on it.
Oh, you didn't buy it from you slaughtered the chicken yourself? You murdered the animal yourself?
I've done that. Yeah, I have.
My glass is all blotchy. Well, anyway.
I'm going to tell you, man. I'm going to tell you what I've been getting into.
Uh-huh.
I'm a little too scared to do it. But I've been watching these hog hunt videos.
Oh, yeah. The invasive species?
Yeah. Listen here, champ. I want to do it so bad. But riding around with a bunch of white boys in pickup trucks at night with automatic rifles just seems like...
You'll be fine. I got a homeboy. He goes buck hunting in the Missouri backwoods in the Ozarks. And he be posting these pictures they take the buck, 8-point, 12-point bucks and string them up on like one of those old chassis, gut them, drain them, dissect them. I got a homeboy. He goes out there with the good old boys.
Yeah, but see, this is mayhem, champ. Like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like fully. Like the one that I want to do is when you do it in the helicopter.
You and Kobe.
So they strap you in and you just hanging out the chopper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And listen, and I'll be the first one to put out the boy dad t-shirts and the boy dad hashtag when you fall out that damn copter. Risk your life to murder an animal. That's peculiar behavior, man. What's in you that compels you?
It just looks so
kill an
fun,
animal
man.
for leisure and pleasure.
I'm talking about like it's just like full, like they busting fully, son.
I'm fully aware of what you're talking about and all the rhetoric about the invasive boars. And they say they're coming further and further north, and the billions of dollars in ecological and archaeological, not archaeological, but agricultural damage that these invasive wild boars cause. And I'll say, I'm all for dealing with invasive species, but my thing, being a big fan of efficiency and proper bureaucratic execution, I say if you're going to deal with invasive species, whether on the Australian archipelago or in the New World, I say you start with the most damaging invasive species and work your way down from there.
I don't think that's unfair.
Okay, so you agree we start with the Europeans, the European colonizers, invaders, and then we can work our way up to the feral cats.
Hey, man, I told you, bro, I got a job, champ. I got a job. I'm not getting
okay, I'm just saying. You just
said. Listen, bro. I got a job. Those are your opinions. Those are your thoughts.
You don't even know the techniques and methodologies I have for removal of the invasive, the environmentally dangerous invasive species. You don't even know my technique before you want to back away from it. Oh, I done ran Skip off. Anyway, again, when Skip comes back, if he makes his way back, he made his way back. But seriously.
Okay, because like, bro, like I got a job, bro. Like I got a career.
But, okay, well, let's get back. Okay, let's get back.
I got children who won't play soccer, champ. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but let's go back. What motivates you to want to slaughter and murder animals? What's in you that would find entertainment or joy in that?
I don't know. Maybe I do it and I'm like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was.
But you got to try it first.
I think so.
What other things did you have to try before you found out it ain't you? It ain't in you.
I'm gonna tell you one of the most obvious things that I realized was not me. And I learned this from afar. Selling drugs.
Yeah.
That looked like so much work to me. And it was like, bro, like I go to my little part-time job and don't do that. Like,
it's not the work, it's the return on an investment.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. All of it, like all of the risk that you assume to hang out with me, like we got the same shoes, the same white t-shirt. The only difference between us is you got a better necklace and your car. But like we in the same places, we eat the same foods. Like, listen, it's not worth it to me. And like the first time, like you hear about, oh man, yeah, like we was in jail, we was fighting. Man, they got the don't let me out.
My homeboy used to come home from juvie and make it seem like we was lames and that they was just kicking it. Like they were having a time. Like when he went to juvie, he learned how to unthread socks and weave those little crosses from sock. And we all wanted one so that when we walked around, we could look like we've been to juvie without having to go to juvie. And he was very, very tyrannical about how he distributed his crosses. Yeah, I should have him on. But he used to be like, and everybody was up in there. All the coolest kids was up in there and kicking it. And I was like, God damn it. You know, he was, yeah, they made it seem like he was having the time of his life and we was just missing out.
Like, did you ever do Scare Straight?
No. I didn't need to. I say, listen, when Nancy Reagan rolled through my hood and was like, drugs are bad, okay? I'm like, okay. But listen, I did Scare Straight. But my Scared Straight wasn't in, I didn't have to go to jail. I saw how civilian life was under drugs. You know,
man. So
I didn't need my immediate environment that I grew up in scared me straight. So
bro,
I didn't need to be plucked out of my immediate environment and put into another environment in order to scare me straight. I could just get up and crack the door to my bedroom and look up and down the hallway, and I was scared straight.
Listen, bro. My mama had me on a bus to the Parchment Penitentiary.
See, yeah, I didn't have to. The penitentiary came to me.
Yeah, bro, man.
Rest in peace, Uncle Kirk. Penitentiary came to me.
Man, look, you remember when Ice-T was like, this ain't no player shit here? Yeah. Man, when none player happening in there.
Like I said, dog, real talk. Yeah, I was born into an episode of Scare Straight. Yeah. Real talk. So yeah, I didn't have to say. I know it's not cool to quote him anymore, but what did Puff Daddy say? I ain't got to talk it because I lived it.
Hey man, let me tell you something that happened the other day, man. So the boys have picked up on like their version of pause. So it's just like they just like, hey, yo, right? Why have these children started saying no Diddy?
Because Diddy is now the living embodiment. I told you my living embodiment. Right? I told you my my living embodiment philosophy, right?
Mm-mm.
When prominent black men are caught, or when a prominent black man, not men, but a prominent black man as an individual is captured conducting his affairs or conducting himself in a way that white men have conducted throughout history, that black man becomes the living embodiment of that white behavior.
Mm.
So white men have been murdering their spouses and murdering their lovers, their mistresses, and getting away with it for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
But when OJ did it, he became the living embodiment of that behavior. Wow. Prominent and powerful white men have been using their wealth and status to prey upon sexually vulnerable women in their sphere for centuries. But when Bill Cosby did it, he became the living embodiment of it. So Diddy is the latest living embodiment. So one of the services that black men, or one of the costs that black men have to, which we're going to get into when we talk about liberation versus progress, that when you become a prominent black man, you not only have to serve the true elites. And one of the ways you serve the true elite is that you have to take on the burden of their misdeeds as a black person in that position. You know, like Jordan, I'm not even into sports, but there's this undercurrent in sports is that Jordan was gambling while he was competing. And Jordan brought a level of disgrace to the game because of his gambling and his disgrace. And that's always been a dark cloud over his legacy. Now, white boys and white athletes have been doing that shit since sports, since the Greeks and the Romans, since the gladiators were the highest paid, most popular athletes. White men have been doing that. But when Jordan did it, he became the living embodiment. So in all, even when violent music, country music, European music has always been saturated with violence and misogyny, has always sang ballads to Billy the Kid and other mass murderers and criminals. Gangsterism itself is a cornerstone of European culture. Gangs go back to the Praetorian Guard. Gangs go back to the earliest manifestation of European civilization. They have formed gangs. But when you say gangsta or gangsterism, you envision a black person. So we as a group become the living embodiment of European dysfunction, violence, predation. So no Diddy, instead of saying no Epstein or no Epi or whatever, R. Kelly. You think molester, R. Kelly.
Not Jerry Lee Lewis.
So that's one of the things. When you get up to a certain status, you have to understand you can do all the dirt we do. But if you get caught doing the same dirt we do, you will become the living embodiment of that. Because black elites are not truly elite. Black elites are servants. They are assets and the property.
So let me ask you this, because we've talked about this before. I think one of our earliest changes when I was like, black people can't be racist, they can only be assets to races. Is that playing out? I mean, that's what I hear in it. Like, you know, the same way we talk about, well, I talk about in particular, black men don't get any benefit from patriarchy. They can only be of service to white men, and then they get whatever's left behind after white men have consumed whatever they want.
Black men suffer immensely from patriarchy. At the very time we champion patriarchy, we suffer immensely from patriarchy. You know, and as we are vocally and publicly some of the most, you know, unwavering defenders of patriarchy, which we don't even benefit from.
We get nothing from it.
Right. Well, I guess we probably have to bring a sister on here because there are a lot of black women that assert that black men do benefit from patriarchy.
And you know, again, I will assume that they have studied it far more than me. But what I will say to it more times than not is anything that they get is going to be the leftovers from whatever whiteness leaves behind.
Well, I have a dirty secret.
Okay.
Most white men don't benefit from patriarchy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The root of the word patriarchy is archy. Monarchy, hierarchy, meaning tiers. So working class patriarchs, poor patriarchs, migrant patriarchs, there are a lot of, now black men do engage in and derive some what you could be defined as benefit, depending on how warped you are, sexism and misogyny. But in terms of when you start to formalize that into policy, structures, standards, laws, the accumulation and dispersal of resources, that's when you get into the archy. So black men can mimic, or even a more appropriate term. I got in trouble. I got suspended off of social media when I said aping. That's a term that I used to always use called, you know, you're aping someone, meaning to mimic someone. You know, or imitate the actions of someone. And when you're aping someone, you're imitating the actions without really grasping or comprehending what they're doing. You're just carrying it out. So like if monkey see, monkey do, the monkey can mimic your behavior, but the monkey can't comprehend what it's doing. So, but you can't say aping anymore. So we mimic. Oh, what's up? Oh, Rip. I was just talking about, that's my dog. Remember the dude I said would go to juvie and tell us he was having a good time and we lame?
Oh, Rip the Crip.
Yeah, that's my OG. Yeah, he's the one who used to make me feel like a sucker because I never got to go to juvie.
Got to go. That's crazy.
I was just telling. He was like, yo, we was in there kicking it. And he run down a list of all our neighborhood cats that was there. Yeah, Boonville. I was too scared to jump off the porch. Well, where was I? Oh, yeah. But, I mean, this is a discussion. I think we had one of our earliest shows, we talked about manhood and the manosphere and masculinity, alpha male, all that bullshit.
Oh, man, you remember your boy that you kept talking to? He was the president of the Black Manosphere.
Yeah.
He on the little hat and everything. Like, you was hating on that dude, bro.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's something you just have to accept. In their effort to dominate and hyper exploit the world and all things in it, the white elites have more black assets than black enemies. And that's something that we don't really go into our organizing and advocacy comprehending, I don't think. But the elites, whenever we look, going all the way back to the COINTELPRO papers and research of individuals like Dr. Bobby E. Wright, whenever they have their social, political scientists look into the issue about the potential for black resistance, black rebellion, black uprising, black subversion, they always find that this black messiah that they sought to prevent the rise of, they always concluded that any true black messiah would face more opposition from the black community than support. And that would never change until that Black Messiah became a Black martyr. We're much more comfortable with rallying around Black martyrs than we are Black Messiah. I don't like that term. That's their terminology. I wouldn't call it that,
I'm
but
picking up what you're putting down.
for consistency, Black people are more fond of Black martyrs than they are of Black messiahs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I could sit here and talk about, you know, Huey and Chairman Fred and Malcolm, what I would have done, or if they was here, if they were only here today. It's very easy to sit there and talk, imagine what I would have done, did, than discuss what I'm willing to do.
And listen, boy.
Anyway, Elon Musk is about to be taken down.
What you talking about?
And this is for all the people that dissed me for playing video games, that mocked me, that belittled me for playing video games. The gaming community is about to take down one of the biggest tyrants in the world.
What you talking about?
Shout out to all the gamers. Vitamin D deficiency from sitting in front of a computer screen, never going outside, never, you know, going out. All the incels, shout out to the incels, because Elon Musk has crossed one of the most vicious and relentless communities. So forget about him being apartheid, fascist, racist, capitalist parasite.
Elon, what are you talking about?
I'll tell you. So Elon Musk made the false claim that he was a level, I think, 96 player in Path of Exile. And he also made a spurious claim, an unsubstantiated claim, that he was a high-level player of Diablo. Now, these games are online role-playing games.
Okay.
Now, I haven't played Path of Exile, but I've played Diablo 4 and I've played Diablo 3.
Okay.
Now, these games are what you call role-playing games, which means you only have one character and you're in this fictional world, and each character has a certain set of powers. Like you can be a knight, you can be an imp, you could be an elven archer, you could be a druid, and each of those characters comes with a certain amount of powers. And as you go through the world, you gain clothing, you gain gear, you gain weapons, you gain mana and other magical abilities, and you develop those abilities. And you go around executing missions as you seek to take on the ultimate evil in the game. Very submersive. And there is tons of lores, like volumes of books written about this lore. So just to give you, and so in order to get to the more elite levels of the game, like my Diablo character is maybe at a level 8 or 9.
And what did he say he was?
Well, in Path of Exile, he's like a 90. And then in Diablo, he said he's up in the upper 5% to 3% of players, the top 3% of players across the globe.
Okay.
And so he went online, this gaming site, and said, hey, I'm going to do a live demonstration of this game. Now, he has an extremely powerful character. There's I think it really was funny to me. It was years ago, maybe more than 10 years ago, that South Park won an Emmy because they did an episode dealing with World of Warcraft. And I think the name of that episode was Make Love, Not Warcraft. And if you go look at Make Love, Not Warcraft, you'll get a mockery and dismissive glimpse of the behavior and community and culture of this online, massive multiplayer online game. But anyway, all that aside, he goes online and does a live demonstration because they're like, he's the elite. Elon Musk, anything he touches, he masters.
Okay.
And he said that he is the master of this particular game, Path of Exile. Now, I don't play Path of Exile because I'm not a nerd. I have played Diablo. And if I am to understand what the gaming community says, Diablo is much more inferior in complexity than Path of Exile. And right now, I'm playing Ascension. That's the game I'm playing right now, Ascension. And Ascension is like Diablo, But as opposed to being in a fantasy medieval world, it is a futuristic cyberpunk space colony environment. So instead of having magical powers, you have augmentations. You have mechanical and cyber augmentation, whereas in Diablo, you would have magical talisman. And instead of having bow and arrow and a magic wand, you have guns and grenades. But other than that, it's the same basic premise, right? And my Ascension character is only a level 24. And you have to ascend your level, raise the level by carrying out missions, all that. But anyway, Elon Musk goes online. This motherfucker starts playing the game. And immediately the tech bros look at, and it's like he doesn't understand the basic functions of the game. When he's trying to gather his loot, when he's trying to go into his magic chest and extract his various talisman and other various weapons, he has no mastery. There's no way he could be at a level 90 in this game. So Elon Musk has been exposed to the gamers as a fraud. And the reality is Elon Musk pays people, gamers, professional gamers, to log into his character and play the game on super difficulty and build up this character to be super powerful on his behalf. So he pays people to pay the game for him. More likely, they probably live in India or Korea, because Koreans and Indians tend to be, in these particular games, the best gamers on the planet when you're playing online. Like if you're playing like even something like what they call it, Mortal Kombat, you see somebody with a Korean flag by their name, you're like, fuck, you know, this is going to lower my stats. But anyway, he was exposed. And so literally, when people saw Elon Musk was lying about his achievement in games, or even a game like your kids probably play, Fortnite. Like I'm the greatest player in Fortnite, and I got all these stats in Fortnite. And then he goes online and he gets killed immediately when he's live streaming the game. And so they're like, wow, if he lied about his status and path of exile and his elite skills in Diablo, could he perhaps be lying about the role he played in Tesla? Could he perhaps be lying about the role he intends to play in the government efficiency office? If he lies about something as important and valuable to his supporters as a video game, could he be lying about the prominence and viability of crypto? So literally, people who literally worshipped Elon, and he called him a real life Tony Stark, have been online attacking him and going back and looking up his old speeches when he was talking about self-driving cars and fully autonomous robots in every home and flying to Mars and setting up space colonies on Mars. And they're literally like, this guy's a fraud. He's a fraud. And to the point where even Steve Bannon came out this week and said Elon is a racist, a vicious racist, and a fraud. Steve Bannon, and y'all don't know this, but Steve Bannon made his money in the gaming community. Steve Bannon made his money trading in gaming weapons, like you had these elite weapons in the gaming currency. And you could take online diamonds and jewels, online currency, and accumulate it and sell it to people for real world money. So Bannon is a gamer preneur. And so elite, and now people are saying that Trump is now reconsidering his alliance with Biden. And I bullshit you not. You can go look all this up. And so shout out to the racists, those little geeks online calling you out your name and dissing your mother, and that if you ever play online, those little people that be online, those little skeevy little gamer bros, I mean, they're going to take down Elon, richest man in the world.
Hey, bro.
You see the wonderful things you learn when you don't leave your house. When you don't.
Man.
Yeah.
I Whatever it takes, man. Like I just that.
Yeah. So all the racism, all the corporate espionage, all the supporting and advancing fascist and right wing governments,
Not taking care of his children, just being a general scumbag.
What's going to bring him down is that he lied about his gaming status in Path of Exile.
I love it. I love it.
Bring them down. The gamers are powerful. Every time I start talking about gaming, y'all roll your eyes. And these gaming geeks are going to rule the world. And World War III, that's going to be all digital war, all drones, all robots and drones.
Hey, man, I'm not saying not. All I'm saying is, boy. Like, are we not living in the Wizard of Oz, bro? Like, I'm just saying, like, just this is the way my mind works. There's a guy with a joystick in his hand that just leveled a village, a neighborhood, or whatever. And I bumped into this guy and he got sharp at the mouth and I wrinkled his shirt. And unbeknownst to me, I saved the next village that he was going to level because his Mountain Dew is all over himself.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something.
I do want to say this though. I think somebody I want to just, show this because I thought this was hilarious. That's one of the funniest things I've ever read.
Yeah.
That internet jur. This is high comedy right here. High.
One settler, one bullet.
You know what I'm saying?
I made a one settler, one bullet t-shirt way back in the day. I think we need another one of those.
I'm with it.
One settler, one bullet.
I mean,
kill the boy.
I'm not with it. I oppose that. Hold on.
Why? Are you a settler?
Hold on.
These people are natives. But I'm glad you brought up Wizard of Oz. You know, Wizard of Oz is an allegory for socialism and capitalism.
Yeah. Speaking of natives.
Indigenous.
So this guy, did I tell you about the guy that told me he was a Yazoo Indian?
No.
So, as I greet black people, you know what I'm saying? What's up, African? This dude just kind of looked at me and was like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Here go your DoorDash. And he was like, hey, you just called me an African, and I just wanted to know if you've done your history. I was like, I mean, I don't really know what you're talking about. African, like, what you telling me? And he started telling me that he was a Yazoo Indian. And that's the end of that story.
You didn't go back and forth with him?
I don't do that.
I've never heard of that particular nation.
Yeah.
Oh, I know why now. Well, according to Wikipedia, they went extinct in in 1740. So you found one. You should probably call the Smithsonian. You could have got a bounty on that one. You should have called him, cast one of them Looney Tunes nets over homeboy. Because officially the U.S. government says that's one of the extinct tribes.
That dude's like, here, Yazoo Indian.
Well, I'm glad they're still here. Shows you what Wikipedia knows. Let me look at another source. Yeah, they went extinct in 1740.
I just, bro, like, I just don't understand it, man. But yeah.
Oh, but you mentioned Wizard of Oz. I say this before we get into our discussion. You know that Wizard of Oz was a socialist allegory.
Okay.
The Tin Man represented the industrial workers.
Okay.
The Scarecrow represented the agricultural workers.
Okay.
And the Cowardly Lion represented the low-level politicians.
Okay.
Who didn't have any courage.
Okay.
So the workers didn't have any heart because the work they did dehumanized them.
Okay.
The Scarecrow didn't have a brain because the farmers were doing all the work, yet they were literally growing food while suffering from malnutrition. Of course, the Cowardly Lion is because they didn't stand up to the true forces. So the wizard, remember the color green was always associated. The wizard was the international bankers.
That's why you can't see them.
Yes. And of course, the flying monkeys were the military and the police. And of course, Dorothy is kind of just like a linchpin or fulcrum for which the story plays out around her. And this happened in Kansas. And if you go back, and there's an old book called What's the Matter with Kansas that goes into Kansas was kind of the front line to say, hey, is the slavery from the South. We always talk about Kansas was kind of, in Missouri was the line where slavery and the antebellum South was going to decide whether or not it would spread west. But it was also the line where the Kansas and the people of the Midwest were not just opposing the Southern elites, they were also opposing the Northern industrial elites. So Kansas said, hey, and you go look up the war in Osawatomie, where they said slavery is not coming here. We're not going to allow slavery to come here or go west, but we're also not going to allow industrial capitalism from the North. So people were dying on plantations in the South, but they were also burning to death, burning alive in industrial warehouses and sweatshops in the East, the Northeast. So Kansas was a hotbed of anarchist radicalism. And he said, how did Kansas go from being literally the leading edge of working class radicalism, from anti-slavery to anti-capitalism to anarchy and radical unionism, to becoming a conservative bastion or a conservative stronghold? And that's what the book What's the Matter with Kansas talks about. So that's why, we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. That's why he had him. He could have had Dorothy come out of anywhere, but she came out of Kansas because if Kansas was lost, then the working class white radical struggle was lost.
So, like, where you study that? Like, where you?
There were several articles written about it. If you just put in Wizard of Oz socialism or Wizard of Oz allegory, you'll get all kind of articles and speculation about what this really meant. And a lot of these old writers back then, a lot of these authors, playwrights and authors and movie directors back then, in the era coming up to the Red Scare and McCarthyism. The reason why you had McCarthyism because there was so much working class and radical messages embedded in the media at that time. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about today, though, but yeah, so Wizard of Oz was supposedly, I like to look at it that way. I heard some people say that's that because then the Wiz, which I hated the Wiz, completely just drained all of that out of it. Dorothy and Michael, Diana Ross and Michael Jackson. I did love that song. I'm a mean old lion. If I happen to let you slide, don't stand there, run and hide. You just got my better side because I'm a mean old lion. I love that song. That's it. But the colorism in The Wiz is just unforgivable. It's unforgivable. He said when he flushed that dark-skinned black woman with natural hair texture, when they had light-skinned Lena Horne come and flush that dark-skinned black woman with pronounced African features and flushed her down the toilet.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And everybody, all the black people became light-skinned. That movie was off the chain.
Now, I'm going to push back just a bit. I don't know if they became light-skinned or if they got the soot off them, but...
What?
They was working in the factory like they was in the sweatshop. They were dirty.
Didn't they get light-skinned, though? Didn't they? They became light-skinned. And let me show you. They had like African features. Let me show you the costumes. These are the evil people. You always trying to look for the silver lining. Tell me these don't look like African mask.
Yeah.
Huh? Look at the hair. And remember, when they flushed that black African queen down the toilet, these African features came off of them. You want to give them a pass, and this is the new one. No, this was from '78. I thought.
Yeah, no, that's the one.
78.
Yeah.
They started wiggling out of that dark skin. So when we flushed the African queen,
but then pull up what they look like now, though.
What you mean?
Pull up the
modern play.
No, I'm talking about what they look like after they did that.
Oh, they look light skinned. You ain't never seen a light skinned person.
Yeah, before? But pull them up though, champ. Like pull them up.
If I can find when they was pulling off and they became. You think I ain't gotta lie, Craig?
I ain't saying you are. All I'm saying is
I have to find a picture. All the pictures of when they were dark skinned. You saw that scene. I have to look for a picture because I don't want to. Oh, here they are. Here's an image. Right? You mean to tell me they didn't become like, you ready to see?
Yeah.
You ready to apologize for doubting me? No, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Okay. Here. I don't know what you need to see it for. I don't know why my word ain't good in the hood. There they are. Light-skinned. Rice-skinned. Look at Dorothy standing right there in the middle of them. Look, and they changed up the lighting. The fucking Wiz was one of the most anti-black movies of the 70s. And that says a lot because there was a lot of anti-African propaganda out at that time. Look at them. Now, they don't look lighter to you?
Hold on. I'm finna pull up the whole clip. I found it. I had to remember the name of the song.
I could have put up the clip. I'm just saying.
Hold on. How I do this? How I show?
Just go to share screen.
Share screen.
You about to prove yourself wrong. I told you they became light-skinned, not rice-skinned.
All right, here we go. I'm trying to keep the copyright strike from coming. All right, boom. Oh, so they late. All right,
they ain't working no more. We free, boss.
All right, boom. Here we go.
Now take off that dark skin and that nappy hair and peel off them African features. We's free. Look at it. African as fuck. That's who I want to kick it with. And this old Uncle Tom. That old Auntie Tom. And a shout out to the Lion, though. And shout out to the Tin Man. I ain't got nothing bad to say about the Lion, and they were victims of circumstances. But I could have done without Michael's punk ass.
Oh, man, come on, bro.
You can't win.
All right, now look, they still mighty African now.
Yes, they are. But now that they flushed that African woman with the African characteristics and features, when they flushed her, you know, We gonna get a copyright like a mother. I don't even care.
How? No, we ain't got no audio. We get a copyright for no audio.
That images. Advance it to where they peel off the black skin, like Michael Jackson. This is what Michael Jackson got his idea. Like, oh shit, I could peel off my black. This ain't even the scene where they peeled off the black skin.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. A New Day.
No, go to the part where they peel off the black skin and they all come out light skin with good hair. You just played the part where they just got freed. You playing the part up till Reconstruction. You got to play the part because that's what that whole dance scene was about. Slavery, Reconstruction, civil rights, freedom. You didn't play it all, man. I was a little kid watching that shit like, damn.
No, it wasn't Irene Cara. It was
she was cast to play it.
Yeah. No, but the original was
light skin versus dark skin, just like that movie Precious.
Wasn't it Stephanie Mills?
Stephanie Mills is an Uncle Tom. Remember,
she not.
During the height of the boycott, Dale Jones almost got arrested because he blocked when she came back from South Africa to perform in Philly. And Dale Jones and his crew went and chained themselves to the entrance to the venue. And they were like, ain't nobody, she can't perform in Philly no more because she broke the South African boycott. And she was talking mad greasy. Stephanie Mills too. Man, listen. Don't give me the reason to hate on you because I don't forget.
What about the poppies though?
You didn't play the scene where
I did. I played the part that I wanted to play.
But you played the part, but you missing the point. Play the scene that's in this image where they peel off the dark skin and they peel off the nappy hair and they peel out the wide African noses and the big African lips and they all come out skeletal and light-skinned with good hair. Play that part. I ain't gotta lie. I fell for it too. I fell for the okie doke. Seeing black folks on the TV was a black pride, instilled me with pride. All these coons and toms and enough is enough, man. But it's 2025. How they revive the Wiz? Why we let them revive the Wiz? That's one of the most anti-black movies of all time. And the visuals, man. And the black woman there, she already had African features, and they had to exaggerate her African features because they said, we want to kill the African in yourself if you want to be free. Had my sister up there looking like KRS-One, man. I don't play like that. And flush her down the toilet. Come on now. Come on now. But I digress.
I mean, one could say you're right. One could say that.
And then they had Mary J. Blige play her in the remake.
What?
Okay, we gotta move on, man. You breaking my heart tonight, man. I don't even want to. Mary J was Eveline. I know she sang the shit out of them songs, but nope. My boycott. I've been boycotting this damn movie.
Now she don't look extra African right here, though.
No, because they already killed it. I wanted you to find a scene where the music dropped and they started peeling off their blackness.
I paid the part that I wanted to play.
That was mind warp. That was
I played the part I wanted to play.
Okay. I thought you were going to demonstrate to me that they did not become light-skinned.
That's what I'm saying. They was African right there the whole time.
All right. Anyway, I'm not going to curse, but listen. Black people, the Wiz wasn't for, by, or of us. That Wiz ain't FUBU. It's not for us or by us. Like, if you go watch the White Wizard of Oz, don't mess with the Wiz.
Hey, look here, Joe Left Hand Records. You know what I'm saying? You really all in the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying.
I played the part I played the part that I wanted to play. I played the part that I wanted to play, and I showed you that them people was Africans.
For a time being. Can you see the brand new day? Can you see the brand new day? I feel lighter just singing that.
Yeah.
My hair feels a little less coarse just saying those words. Let me check my credit score online. I think my credit score went up a little. Man, listen. We got an A. Listen, they relentless.
Hey, man. Hey, look. So before we get into the show, I do want to make this announcement. You know what I'm saying? It'd be quite a few people always in the chat agreeing with Diallo. What are people that's gonna be aggressively agreeing with me in the chat? You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Even Dunn really be over here agreeing with Diallo a lot. You know what I'm saying? We need some more, you know what I'm saying, people to agree with me, regardless of what I'm saying. So, you know, like,
let's see. I was about to say yeah. You said regardless of what I was. Oh my god. I'm recovering.
Like, no, that's not happening. Diallo over there can't stop sneezing because he don't eat chicken noodle soup.
I had kale soup.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Was there any chicken in it?
No, there was some beans.
That's why you sick. Skip sycophants.
Or skip-a-fants.
Oh, I like that. Skip-a-fant. That's the last time y'all can agree with Diallo. Skip-a-fants.
Oh. So you said we're gonna start. I'm down bad. I need to go to lay down.
Yeah, you know what you need to do?
What?
On the cool.
Huh?
Eat some chicken. Clear that right up. The antibiotics in the chicken. Yeah, already.
But no, I think this is viral. It's not bacterial. So
yeah. Once you put antibiotics in the chicken, they do all that. That's what I'm saying. Right on, Joe. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Boom. There we go. There we go. Right there. Joe. Man, look, this is the other thing that I want to say. Because if you fade, we're gonna go on the skedaddle. I'm gonna be better this year. The boys no longer have Wednesday training. So it's Monday, Thursday. Wednesday should be good. So I'll be here more. We can do that. And I would really like to I rap with Geechee. Geechee want me to come on Friday some.
Why? I'm not enough for him?
Nope. He said you're not man enough.
I'm not enough man. Geechee.
But this is what I think though. I think we gotta find somebody else too. I think we do the four of us. Because I think if we do it 3, it's just gonna look too much like the old show.
Like we're
not doing the old show. We're not doing the old show. And I have been texting.
Mm-hmm.
Just know, I ain't gave it up. I ain't gave up that narcotic.
Can we bring Rip the Crip?
Yeah.
Give us some street cred.
Hey, I will say this.
Oh.
All y'all that's with the bring back EYL, y'all need to go to Black Liberation Media on Friday mornings and put the same thing in their chat. Oh, Rip the Crip want to be there. Boom.
Word?
Rip the Crip say he want to do it.
All right, so I'm going to call. All right. It's real hood cats. All right, Rip the Crip, number 4.
I want everybody that put that bring back EYL over here on Friday morning to go to Black Liberation Media and put it over there. And I'm going to text Jared telling him that I told y'all to go over there and do that. We can do this if we hope, if we, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like this. No, he's not the problem. See, if we like this, we fingers. You know what I'm saying? But if we come together, we can deliver a mighty blow. You know what I'm saying?
This fingers ain't always bad, man. Sometimes everybody can't take this. Sometimes you gotta work up to it. Oh. And
we can't. And this is why. Because EYL was great. That's why we cannot respect brother's decision to move on. Because it was great. And we need that back. That's why. We cannot. So, no.
I like KS Kasuma. He just give up.
No.
See, he's one of them type of brothers who's like, man, let's just pick the cotton. Let's just sit in the fucking bus. The bus air conditioner reach back here. Just stay in the back of the bus. He's like, wherever you at, that's where you is. I respect that, man. Complacency. I respect that.
No, man. Boom. That's it, man. We're gonna bring it back. We're gonna bring it back.
Yeah. Oops, that was an accident. I didn't mean to click on that.
Nah, we're gonna put it up there. We may as well tell them.
Click on that.
Let's tell them.
Tell them how horrible you are. I'm not
horrible.
Like that.
I'm not horrible. Like, you know, it's not that. I'm just sensitive.
What's the topic? Are we even gonna get to the topic?
I doubt it. Because you already over there hacking.
Let's just please run the topic because I don't want to be accused of false advertising.
All right, run it through.
Today's topic was Black liberation versus Black progress. And my conclusion is Black progress has used to be synonymous with Black liberation.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time in our history, from colonization, slavery, Jim Crow, decolonial struggles, where Black progress was equivalent to Black history. But there was a turn. There was an adjustment in the approach, tactics, priorities, and strategies of our oppressor, where Black progress became an opposition to or subversive to Black liberation. So there was a time where you could say, hey, if an average Black person or a Black population was able to gain some concession, some resources, some status, then that translated to our collective betterment.
Mm-hmm.
So when Ghana was liberated, Africans all over the world danced in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
When the civil rights legislation was passed, or when our great African leaders were incarcerated or assassinated, Africans from Kingston, Jamaica to Brixton, UK would take to the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you go up to the time during the LA rebellion,
mm-hmm.
there were placards from Vietnam, to Senegal of Black people showing solidarity with the resistance in Africa, because African people across the globe understood that a slight to one of us was a slight to all, and an advancement for one or a group of us was an advancement to us all. There was a time in the 90s where you couldn't walk a Black community without seeing Black people wearing ANC or anti-apartheid medallions and t-shirts. Everybody had one until NWA came out saying that they was fake and you was a sucker if you was wearing the medallion. So progress for Black individuals, Black institutions, Black businesses, Black fraternities and sororities, Black law, I forgot the American, whatever, the Black lawyers group and the Black engineers group and the Black physicians group. Their progress was our progress. And we, even as children, you and I are old enough to sit there and we look at TV and we see a Black person walk across the stage or a red carpet with an Olympic medal or with some fucking statue. And we'd all be like, yeah, like we fucking was ever going to get near that statue. And so for so many decades and centuries, our oppression was blanket. Meaning, you know, a nigga is a nigga is a nigga is a nigga. And even our most prominent Negroes, whether it's Madam C.J. Walker or Sammy Davis Jr., they had to enter through the back. And they know the highest achieving Negro when it came to some backwood trailer park trash. If they ever came across one on the sidewalk, our prominent Negro had to step off the sidewalk. And even when our prominent Blacks would go play Carnegie Hall, they had to come in through the servants' entrance. And even though our most prominent Negroes were selling out hotels and casinos, they couldn't go gamble at those same casinos that they were selling out. So there was this understanding that no matter what you do or how far you came, no matter how much progress you made, as a Black person, there was only so far you could go because of racism and injustice and prejudice, boom, boom, boom. That has to illusionarily, there has been an illusion that has changed. And now there is no sky is the limit, as P. Diddy said. I don't know. I know we can't. The more P. Diddy gets in trouble, the more I have to quote him. The more I'm compelled to quote. I don't ask me why. I'm a bad seed, man. But if you go listen to Life After Death, sky is the limit. You can have what you want, be what you want. I know I can. We are achieving. And I think the pinnacle of this was the election of Obama. And I still don't think that African people, even though we're a decade out from that scumbag, the election of Obama demonstrated more so than anything else that Black progress, Black achievement, Black elevation, Jay-Z talking about what's better than one Black billionaire, two Black billionaires, that Black progress has no direct relationship with Black liberation. And more often than not, Black progress is a direct line or direct evidence of our collective regression. Or even Amos Wilson said this, but nobody listened to him, including me. Amos Wilson said this in the early 90s. He said, Black individual progress within this system is inversely proportional to our collective betterment. Where he said, at the time that he said this, the more Black physicians we have, the lower the Black life expectancy is becoming. We're getting more and more Black people trained and certified as physicians, nurses, doctors, clinicians, practitioners. But we collectively are suffering more from chronic diseases and our life expectancy is going down. He said the more Black people in law enforcement, we have more Black captains, more Black police officers, more Black prosecutors and defense attorneys, and more Black judges. We even have a permanent Black seat on the Supreme Court. And the more at the same time that we had our first Black Supreme Court justices and Black people making headways in the law up to and developing within Harvard Law School critical race theory, it was at the time that mass incarceration was ramping up.
Mm-hmm.
The status we have within the judicial system, the higher our incarceration rate. And it goes on and on and on. In the entertainment industry, the more awards and accolades and the more directorial, the more status and more we were accomplishing and more Black celebrity, the less ownership control and the less violent, the more anti-African and insidious the media became against African people. So and the list goes on and on and on.
So all of this brings me to a couple thoughts. One of the most interesting things that I've come across was this thing that was saying that that Satan was one of the first revolutionaries, right? Like the position to posit that I would rather rule in hell than serve in heaven, and that was jarring and really profound to think, right? And getting away from the divinity or not, the whatever of it, just the idea that I would rather have my own place where I am in control than to stay in this place and do a thing that I think I'm better than. And then this idea that Blackness is only valuable when it is awarded by whiteness. And it doesn't make any sense to me. We were just talking about how once an artist gets to a certain point, they stop doing Black press because you no longer want to be seen as Black. You want to be seen as a conduit to Blackness for whiteness. And it's disappointing.
Is it though?
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is like, all right, let's use me, right? We're just going to talk about me as not the person that I am, but the work that I have created, right? We would like to believe that if more people would consume the work that I've created, if I was to get a bigger platform, I would somehow radicalize more people, and then they would in turn be more active in their communities, participate in these things, right? Like all these things that we hope will come as a result of it. But what tends to happen, and I've yet to see it really happen, right, is that we elevate me, this person, this thing, and then that thing just becomes fully participant in the dominant culture. So now instead of talking about Black things, I talk to white people about Black things. Instead of really engaging with Black people, I engage with white people about engaging with Black people. And I just really don't understand. I just really don't understand the desire to be in white company. And that's the part that makes it just so difficult to me. Like, I feel so much better when I'm in a room full of people that I like.
Oh, I got the answer to that. That's where the money resides.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, that's where the money resides, right? But money to do what?
To enjoy the spoils of imperialism and white hegemony.
I'm not saying that's not what it is. But what I'm saying is to do what with?
To enjoy the spoils of capitalism, imperialism, white hegemony. And black wealth is a ransom to exempt yourself from the ravages of being black in a white
Yes. I
world.
think that is a thing. But what I'm talking about is, all right, you've been in my house. I got a nice house. Right? My oldest boy go to a private school. I am not engulfed in the brutality of the black experience daily. I'm not. But I don't have anywhere near $1 million right now. I go on vacation. I came up there to see you. You know what I'm saying?
You was working, don't lie.
I was, but I came up there. I came up there. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta go to y'all.
I was up there.
I ain't here let you lie to people. You didn't come here on no baller shit. You came here as a work, and then you snuck out from work to come visit.
Multiple times. Right? And that's all I'm saying. Like, what do white people have that's so great that I go over there and get mistreated for it?
Huh? Validation.
But I guess that's my problem. Cause like I don't need
it's deeper than the gold chains, it's deeper than the Lexus and the private jets.
So what about us has made it so that we're not looking for that?
Just the two of us?
Yeah.
But that's why we are literally white people defined Africans who did not seek to mimic and integrate with them as mentally ill. You know, back then they used to call the Africans who ran away drapetomaniacs.
Mm-hmm.
They suffer from some manic condition. Today we just broke.
Mm-hmm.
We're haters. You know, we're haters. We're broke. We're hoteps. So Africans who did not embrace the status quo have always been mocked and demeaned. You African booty scratcher, you a fake black, you want to be African. There has always been a term of degradation and a undertone of mockery and hostility against black people who say, you know, burn it down. I don't want no parts of this shit. Like, what is wrong with you? Either you're jealous and you can't get money because you ain't got money, or you ain't intelligent enough to understand that you should be getting money. So that's always been the case, and that's across the world. You go to the West Indies and you look at from the Rastafarians to the Maroons and other black radicals in the Caribbean, they're seen as savage, primitive, backwards. You go to the African continent and the black Pan-African militants and stuff are also demeaned. That is a byproduct of oppression. And a lot of those radical blacks often remind those who have surrendered of what they have betrayed or abandoned, or more often than not, we are a potential disruption or an obstruction. And a lot of times they even believe that our behaviors and our attitudes will give justification for more brutality, bringing trouble around here. You read Black Power by
Hamilton is Carmichael.
Right. And he talked about how when they were down south organizing and how they would tell the black people, don't talk to the older blacks. Don't tell them how you maneuver. Don't tell them about our goals, our locations, and things like that, because they're likely to go tell the sheriff, who's the grand wizard.
Mm-hmm.
And that was because that was the attitude. Y'all up north, uppity niggas bringing trouble down here, as if they hadn't been lynched and catching hell before they came down. But now you're the source of the problem.
Because, bro, like,
yeah. But that is universal to any population that comes under colonial oppression or chattel enslavement.
And I just want to talk about bro, like I just don't understand. Like I legitimately do not look at doing the Super Bowl as an accomplishment. Like I just and one of the things that I talked about is like I don't know if it's sour grapes. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it because I know I will never do the Super Bowl that I'm just like, oh, that's some bullshit? Or do I really believe that's some bullshit because I'm so focused on something else? Like, it's just like I just don't. It's just so confusing to me, bro. Like, I just really cannot wrap my brain around. No, it's not about Kendrick. It's not. But one of the things that gets held up, one of the things that Kendrick does, though, is it tells people that there isn't a machine that can push a button on the thing, and their ability to push a button on the thing means that they can push a button on another thing too. Right? And I don't want to get into the whatevers of it, but like this is one thing that I will say. You have people acting like Kendrick is apart from the machine that gave us Drake. And that's where I have a problem. You don't get to push the button on Drake and then get to push the button on Kendrick and then get to push the button on something else, and we not acting like it's the same people pushing the buttons. I just can't wrap my brain around that because it's so far removed from our material and our political reality. We don't go outside and we don't tell our kids to pick a major that will answer a question that will improve our material condition. We go in our communities, we go in our schools, and we tell our kids to pick something that they can get a job in. Well, if them people can't produce a job for this, why they can't produce a job for that? They the same people producing jobs, right? So where do we start asking these challenging questions about what exists? And that's the part I just don't understand. Like we just have accepted. We have accepted that the reality that we have is the only reality that can exist. And I just don't get it. I just don't get how if we arrive at people having $1 billion, I don't get how we can imagine a world where people can have hundreds of billions of dollars, but we cannot imagine a world where people are not hungry and homeless.
Well, that is what they come to call that we have reached the end of history, where the Europeans saying that we have reached the apex of all human formations. The economics must be capitalist. The politics must be liberal democratic, or Western democracy. Capitalism, Western democracy, Abrahamic religion is the legitimate spirituality. so they're pretty much like all the struggles and turmoil and the world wars that were fought to bring us here to the 1,000 points of light. So now the objective is not to find out a way how humans are to relate to each other in our environment. Mm-hmm. The project now is how do we allow for everyone to get on board with this? How do we make sure every nation is capitalist, democratic, Western oriented? So you have the developed nations, which nations have already arrived at this. And then you have the developing world that is trying to get to where this is. And it is literally an illegitimate, doomed, unsustainable, backwards system. But any alternatives that will have you targeted. And they will start with saboteurs. They will start with negotiation, bribery, saboteurs, but they're willing to go all the way up to biological, nuclear, and chemical warfare if you try to map a different way. So that's that. And the vast majority, now every single prominent black leader on the face of the earth has now succumbed to or embraced integration.
Yep.
And some of them say, we only want the white man's economic system and we don't want no white folks around. And that's as militant as they get. We're going to do white people shit and not allow white people within earshot of what we're doing. But we're going to do white people shit to the full exclusion of white people. We're going to have our black business, our black families, our black, and it's all white shit.
And for me, it's like, that's the worst. Because what you're saying is, I want to make sure I'm saying this in the way because I got a job. Because what you're saying is, what you say, we going to out-pope the Pope?
And out Muhammad.
So the answer to beating capitalism is to be more capitalist than the capitalists.
Yes.
So
and we really can think we can do it better.
Capitalism.
We really can think we can do it better. That's the thing that I get into it with a lot of black feminists about. I say you can't be a feminist that one side talk about black men and patriarchy, and then on the other side talk about how broke black men are. Because what you're essentially saying is black men fail at capitalism and mock black men for our failures of capitalism, but then want them to reap all of the material benefits of sexism, misogyny, and patriarchy,
and
mock them for not achieving it,
and complain about being a victim of it at the same time.
Right. So I'm like, you could go the broke boy route or you chauvinist pig route, but you can't do both. Or as I say, you want a capitalist in the streets and a revolutionary in the streets. Or wait, a revolutionary in the sheets and a capitalist in the streets.
Either way, it is demented behavior. Like one must be possessed to come to these conclusions.
Yeah, because a lot of times I'll be rocking the feminist critiques and the feminist dissection, and I'm like, yeah. And then they be like, you broke. You in your mama's basement. You sleeping on a mattress on the floor. And I'm like, whoa, that's you're derailing your analysis. And I mean, wouldn't you want to encourage black men to exit and not to pursue the material spoils of imperialism and capitalism?
That you yourself are saying that you are denied access to. Hey man, I put the link out there. Let's start going through.
Don't nobody want to talk to us anymore.
Diallo, what do you think about the new app replacing TikTok called Red Note?
I'm not on TikTok. I've popped up on TikTok, but anything you see me on TikTok, I'm not the one who shared it. And I don't know what Red Note is. And I'm not on TikTok. And it's pure just lack of effort. It just seems like I'm on the socials that I'm on. I'm about to get off of. I haven't been on there a while. I actually forgot that my Twitter still exists, so I'm about to delete Twitter. You know, now that I know that Elon is not a true high-level RPG game player.
Yeah. Hey man, I've been
Overlook the fascism, the racism, the white replacement apartheid bullshit he's on, but I can't forgive the fact that he cheated at Diablo.
Also, if you're trying to holler at us, AfricanWorldOrder.com. Yes. That's where you can catch all that.
I ain't keeping my Twitter. Why? But I don't know nothing about that. That's kind of like beyond me. Like Vine, Twitter, TikTok, I never got on board with it.
No. H1B is continuing to take him down. Them boys hollering, Elon, go back to Africa.
No.
Listen, Linda. Listen, honey. The way these folks is like, wait a minute, what you mean we gonna be exploiting these people from foreign countries still? I thought we were kicking all of them out.
To poor Elon, but
the thing that I texted folks was face eating leopard eats face. like I don't know like what you thought was gonna happen. Mr. Faulty gave us $5 and he asked what's up with the album. Sometime in March. It's gonna be vinyl, it's gonna be everything.
I thought it was gonna be Black History Month.
Oh, okay.
Let me hold up because I'm ready to go with pre-sales, everything. But let me.
Okay. Maybe we check in about this. But we got to come. Listen, you heard it. I want to clean up a couple things, clean up a little of the audio.
That perfectionism, man.
Yeah.
Just be mid, like me. It's the best place to be. Be a mid dude. Just be a low achieving mid dude.
You think Lupe Fiasco can train AI with MIT to be a better rapper than you, Skip? Probably.
He wants to live up to that name Fiasco, don't he?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what they're talking about, but this is what I will say.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what he's talking about.
This is what I will say. I am the man that I am. One thing that I think that I am blessed enough to be able to say is that the things that I rap about are the things that I do and the things that I live. So if you enjoy that, I don't think a machine could do it because like it don't live and do the shit that I do. The current state of blackness, is steeped in anti-intellectualism and political, I'm assuming, inaction. We're now consumed with assimilation.
Yeah, well, that is all true, but I mean, that's not a relatively new thing. Mythologies and fantasy and magical thinking has always been a part of blackness in terms of black radicalism. So that I can't argue that what he's saying isn't true. But what's most tragic about that is some of the biggest proponents of the anti-intellectualism believe that they are the cornerstone of the intellectualism.
Boy.
And that you know, it not only makes us stupid, it makes us arrogant in our stupidity.
Capitalism has ate away at many brains. Talented tent elites, fantasy history conformists have distorted reality.
So true. And the capitalist propaganda system, which is relentless.
Yep.
You know, our resistance to this system is sporadic and episodic, but the warfare they wage against us is consistent and unrelenting. So we do what I call we atrocity hop. Every day there are grand atrocities committed against African people collectively and as individuals. But you know, George Floyd, Rodney King, Emmett Till, there are certain times where the atrocities resonate or communicated consistently enough to rally enough African people around it. So, but even this The occasional rebellion, occasional protest movement serves to validate the system as opposed to undermine the system, because the system was literally set up going all the way back to the founding genociders, the founding pedophiles of this country. They set it up for the expectation and to sustain with having periodic uprisings. And periodic uprisings, you'll find many of the leaders will come out and say, well, this shows you democracy at work.
Yep.
And the voice of the voiceless. And then the system will make concessions. So we need more than periodic or sporadic uprising. We need to sustain revolution and rebellion across, whether we got concessions, whether we got businesses and all this other shit we claim we want. In the face of good times, we need to sustain our resistance to the system.
Collective regression of black masses is the result of 50 years of neoliberalism. Okay.
I don't agree with that.
Oh, really?
No. Black people, we attack neoliberalism, but I don't think we really grasp what neoliberalism is. And I think what a lot of black people, when they talk about neoliberalism, they tend to lump in liberalism. So what we're dealing with here, neoliberalism I hate to say, I'm gonna say this, but neoliberalism has little to nothing to do with black people. Let me say that, and we can maybe get more into that. Or you could come on, but what did he say? But our regression and stuff, it's not neoliberalism. Okay. Yeah, our collective regression is not the byproduct of neoliberalism. Neoliberalism is horrendous. But a certain geopolitical condition had to emerge for the implementation of neoliberalism. And it had little, even though black people are affected by it, when the capitalists, the globe holders, population controllers, when they implemented neoliberalism, they were waiting for certain geopolitical and certain military alliances to disintegrate in order to implement neoliberalism. But we were headed down this path before the implementation of neoliberalism.
I don't know who is Toshirita.
I don't know who that is.
But yeah, like, help us. Woo! People aspire to be rich, and too many see poverty and homelessness as an individual issue and not a systemic one.
Absolutely true.
Y'all can talk about that when I'm not on the show.
What's that? What was that? I'm not on your reading level. I'm about 3 rows behind you in the classroom, so you can't just throw something. Do y'all think white people are humans?
And then you just go say it out loud. Like,
somebody said you got to read the comments out loud because sometimes they're listening in their car or they're not looking at the screen.
Okay.
First of all, I would say yes. White people
that is Diallo talking.
White people are human. They are primates, okay. and we're all of the basically the same species of primates. Yes, they are human. There are some phenotypical, cultural, social, historical, and theoretically biological components to people who identify themselves as white that leads to a certain unique hyper-aggression that you can look at in psychopathic racial personality, Yurugu, white rage, the Republican brain, did I mention? Oh, the Iceman's inheritance, all that, where you can talk about the relatively unique evolutionary arc and the unique psychology and the unique cultures that evolved out of what really is Eastern Asia or Western Asia. But yeah, they are human. I think that to attribute otherworldly, supernatural, they are they devils, I don't believe the white man is the devil. I don't believe that the white man is an alien. I don't believe that the white man is not a human being or a primate. And to attribute otherworldliness to them kind of feeds into their ethos, because they also believe themselves to be some form of unique manifestation. When white folks first ventured into the world and started their global conquest, they said, well, we are closest to God. They said, we are the first men. We were in the form of Adam and Eve, and the Garden of Eden is somewhere, and we are the Aryan superior race that is closest to God. And not only are we closest to God, we are most like God, and we are tasked with the burden, the white man's burden of spreading God to the world. And then when their own archaeologist says, well, Europeans or people who identify as white actually came onto the historical and human historical timeline quite late. And instead of being the first man, the white man is the last man. And instead of saying, wow, I am not the superior being, I am not the master of earth and space, and changing that, they simply changed the rhetoric. They said, well, we are not the first. We are not that of God. In fact, that's primitive thinking. We are the most evolved and refined species of man, or race of man. So the primitive man was the dark man, and the advanced man. First, they said the good and pure man was the first man. The good and pure man was the first man. And then when sin came into the world and the curse of Cain, and man was cursed with the mark of Cain, dark skin, was a curse from the first sin, the first murder. And now they say, well, we are evolved. We were low-level primates. We were humanoid primates, and then we evolved to Homo superior. From Homo habilis to Homo superior. And so now the white man being the last race of men to walk the earth, to form nation and culture, that is the evidence. So it doesn't matter what you're able to demonstrate scientifically, historically, or what fantasies or mythologies or folklore you could come up with about race. The European is going to flip it to justify his dominance. And one thing you can put white domination into perspective is, not only this is the relatively newest domination of humanity, but it's one of the short-lived empires. From Asia to the African continent, you had nations and empires that lasted for tens of thousands of years. The United States is not even 300 years old and is already in a state of rapid decay. The British Empire, the sun never set on the British Empire, and it's also in a rapid state of collapse. And we saw the British Empire collapse and had to pass the baton to the US, and they couldn't even maintain their pan-European EU type shit for long. So there is nothing uniquely special about them, except the fact that what some would say they're hyper aggression. But I don't even know. I can't call that an asset, because not even other white people are exempt from that. But yes, I wouldn't deny their humanity. It really doesn't serve us to.
All right. Have you watched Arcane? Do you have any critiques?
I watched.
I'm not here. What is that?
It's a cartoon series on Netflix, which is based on a video game called League of Legends.
Okay.
And League of Legends, one of my sons played it. I've never played League of Legends, but it's a story about a state that consists of two city-states, or two regions, in the underworld where the poor people live, and then the higher world, and they have this massive complex. I think it's wonderfully animated and entertaining. But I enjoyed the show, but I didn't really even get into any real deep meaning. I think it deals more with mental health. It deals with issues of class and class hierarchy and exploitation. It deals with issues of identity, belonging, and it deals with issues a lot with mental health. Like one of the main protagonists has a severe psychological and emotional scars from trauma in her childhood, and failure to come to terms with some of the horrendous things she has done. It deals with themes of redemption and the gray line, where the people who believe to be justified and righteous, and it also deals with a lot with progress, in terms of they have this special arcane technology, this magical technology, where some people say it is even the benefits, like nuclear power, the benefits, the potential for benefits don't outweigh the potential for harm of this new technology. And one of the chief proponents of this new technology became one of its enemies who sought to destroy it. I mean, it's a good story.
Cool. Rip the Crip, you know what I'm saying? Gave us a young 10-piece. And KJ, you know what I'm saying, gave us a fight. Boy, we made $20 a night, boy.
Oh, dang. Shout out. Thank you. Needed and appreciated.
Thank y'all so much, man. Hey, bro.
Well,
I miss you.
White people did not evolve from African modern man. They developed from early primate who wandered into Europe. Okay. All right. I suppose.
I ain't getting into none of that. Listen.
Preston don't play. Boy, that dude.
Listen, I'm here. I plan on being here. I appreciate y'all for listening. Thank you to the Skipperfants, you know what I'm saying, for like tuning in. And I want to see more arguing in the chat, more Skip is right.
And Diallo is left.
No, Diallo is wrong. Skip is right.
Yeah, I do have to say more about this and the relentless attack on Brandon Johnson. Shout out to Q. What's up, Q? We should have him on too.
Let's do it. I would love for this to be more of a everybody just coming in and just kind of kicking it. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be a far more entertaining show for me.
I didn't say that they were. I said that's their rhetoric. Preston just hear what he wants to hear.
It's coming, bro. It's coming. Listen to me. It's coming. It's coming. And I'm going to say this. Once this comes and the gates is open.
Pause.
The gates is open is phrasing.
Well, when you say once this come, before that. Lord have mercy. Ali got hot. The heat got hotter. Ali starts to curse me. Hey, I'll be in El Segundo next month. No, February. Yes, I'll be in El Segundo in February for Black History Month.
Oh, what you got going on there?
I left my wallet there. Oh. I gotta go get my wallet.
Gotta get it. Got to get it.
So yeah, I'll be in El Segundo at that one vegan restaurant around the corner from LAX, and I'll be at the Pan-African Film Festival.
Oh,
at least for the poetry reading, like the live performances. I don't know which films I'll be able to catch, but I'll definitely be there for that live performance they have. So I'll see LA. And if it's still standing. I've been watching the fires. Blaze fires. So anyway, I appreciate you, bro.
Hey, bro. I love you, bro, immensely.
And we got, at least we know, Rip the Crip and Brother Q have committed to coming through live and direct. So the African World Order community is growing.
That's it, man. We ready.
And when the sisters coming through?
Hey, that's the one.
Again, I got so much stuff that I have to keep under lid. You know, I like to talk.
Yeah, I know, but
you know, I like to tell it.
Rip
I
the
don't
Crip,
like
you taught him
holding nothing
well.
back from the people. That's how
You
I get
taught
in
him
trouble.
well, Rip. He know how to keep his mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, y'all keep it real.
Until next time, y'all. Peace.